Hello there, friends. I had every intention of starting this week's video a lot more elegantly, composed, tailored, you name it. But here we are. Welcome to a new week and welcome to, albeit an empty house, but a new house tour. So I'm excited to show you around. My best friend Hulken and I have been really bonding a lot this week, so perhaps we'll take this around for a spin with us as well. But yeah, welcome. Let's get started. While there may not be a whole lot for us to see here in this new home tour video, I think it will be fun to show you what it's like now in its present state, which is almost empty. I say almost because I did personally, hence this, move my closet, mainly my shoes, because I trust no one with my shoes. Also, because by the time we move in our first night here, I have to go into a client's wedding installation 3 days later. So I wanted to make sure that I had all of my personal effects in order. I have already packed my, I would call it my wedding uniform, but my black cocktail dress, my emergency kit, everything I need for next week's wedding is in my office now. So in case I'm filtering through boxes, I don't need that stress trying to filter through and see what I need to be out for 2 days working on this installation and production. So thankfully that's all set. I will say, I'm coming to you right now from my master bedroom. The closet is a problem. The closet is a problem. So I'm trying all different ways and researching ways to help maximize the space we have. Mr. Lyons refuses to get an entirely separate closet. Even though he has a sliver, he's in there. So I'm doing my best here. I don't know if you can see here, but through the bathroom, and I'll show it to you in a minute. I'm trying like a whole shoe organization thing, which is new to me. So we'll see how that goes. But the other good part about doing this house tour while it's empty is I get to take you along in future videos, weeks, months, years even, on the transformation and the plans that we have for this new home. And the plans, they are planning and they are plentiful. So we have a punch list that seems to be growing, but we just keep reminding ourselves that we don't need to get all of this done by, Christmas, which is the natural inclination, because there are some pretty hardy some projects in there that we want to do. So I think after I take you for the tour, I do have a few meetings with clients, and then I am going to share some moving tips that I've implemented over the last several weeks to really help keep me focused and organized and excited and ready for this move. I will say all those things are true. I am organized. We are packed. Like, the movers are coming. They know their job. And while all of that is streamlined, I have officially entered the restless phase. So our movers come in 4 days, and I feel like we're living like gypsies. It's not my favorite. I just feel like I need gold hoop earrings and I'm a gypsy. I'm trying to find food here, there, everywhere. I'm trying to find, I have most of my clothes here, so I have only a few at the closet in Winter Park. And a minimalist? No, I am not. I'm not a minimalist. So anyway, I'm actually ready to move. I think I've got all of the emotional part of moving from our old house out of my system. Of course, I know the day we move, it will still be emotional, but I have truly reconciled. I feel really, really good about that. But anyway, I'm going to give you the tour. I'm going to stop yammering about and go to those meetings that I have to do, of course. And then I'm going to come back and share some really, really great moving tips that have served me so well in the last few weeks, and I hope in the next 4 days to come. So let's tour. Let's tour. Okay, so here we are at the front door. We move in just after Halloween, so I put up more of a Thanksgiving sort of wreath and a pumpkin just to let people know that we're coming, and I promise I will always deliver curb appeal. You'll see inside I despise that mailbox, so we're replacing that. That was on the punch list. That was an easy one. But this was the vantage point from when I said hello to you all. This is entering Le House. here we go. So as soon as you can see here, as soon as you walk in, you can see these beautiful sets of French doors, which, I mean, when we first walked in, we gasped. It was just so beautiful. We love seeing the light. We love that we can see the pool from here and the entire backyard, and so can our guests when they come and visit with us. That was something, while as beautiful as our backyard is / was in Winter Park, it will always be beautiful. We were always in the front of the house, either cooking or sitting on the furniture, and unless we were outside, we couldn't really appreciate the backyard and the pool for what it was. So that is that. Let me just kind of reverse here. Just off to the right here is my office. I have to say, truly no, let me try to put on some lights here. No offense to anyone that does like barn doors. I am not one of those people. So I'm hoping to get this replaced at some point. No urgent rush. I do understand that it will affect the floor, so we have to be careful of that. I would love French doors in here as well. The threshold is not that large for that, but I'm sure that, you know, a general contractor can take care of that for us. But for now, it's lovely and it coordinates with the house, and I'm more than happy to manage it for the time being. But this is a great size office. I think when I came to you either a week or two ago, you may have seen the built-in that was here, which was a Murphy bed and some shelves. We really didn't need it. I loved that they left it here for us, but we didn't need it. We donated it. And I'm just gonna make my office sort of the way it was before. I have my 2 gold shelves here, my desk and everything. I love that I get a view outside. That's great. Let's take you around here. I mentioned that I already have things in place for the wedding that is next weekend, so I have a lot of closet space in here. So I have sort of the gift card box that I always take with me. Our emergency kit is down there. I even have the shoes that I wear. Sorry, I have no light in here. And on the other side, let's see. Oh, because I told you the travesty about my other closet. I've had the spillover of some of my handbags here. So right now this is my solution for that. I still have some to hang up, as you can see. A couple of my wedding cocktail dresses and something I need to make sense of down there. I think those are like pashmina scarves, some more handbags, things like that. But all right, what I really, really love here, I should have put on lights before I started this whole tour, is I have an actual mudroom, which is so lovely. And this is the garage. So if we came in from the garage, we would be coming this way. I love the hooks, which would probably have our dog leashes there. We'll have our dog food, dog accessories, bowls, etc. there. Friends, I no longer have to do my laundry in a garage like I used to. I now have a bona fide laundry room. Look at this. This is so nice. It feels like such a luxury to me. Yes, I want to decorate this as well. I've already started to try to put some touches in here to make it feel, you know, inviting, like you kind of want to do laundry, whoever wants to. No, but I want to make it a lot more inviting and cozy in here as well. Replace that light, things like that. So, all right, let's head into the main house here, the kitchen. This kitchen is pretty much what did it, sealed the deal for us. You all remember my little dollhouse of a kitchen in Winter Park? This is probably 3 times the size of that, maybe more, I don't know. But we absolutely love it. And when I say love, of course, we have plans to renovate it. But again, I don't know how soon that will be. I'm excited though. We already had a meeting about that. But love the floating shelves there. Love that we can still have a gas range. We'll be replacing the appliances with the renovation whenever that happens. Plenty of cupboard space. I have asked our handyman to expand these windowsills. They're rather narrow, but you know, I like to grow my pea shoots there. I like to put my produce when I'm growing tomatoes and things like that. I like them to ripen there. So yeah, I love the little apron sink. Excuse the mess. We've been, receiving deliveries and things like that. I'm already trying to make The sink area, just anything to make it pretty or feel like home, I have been trying to implement in these last few days and weeks. So let's move on. Perspective, this is opposite to the kitchen. I just turned around and there's sort of like this, I'm guessing an attempted wet bar area. Love that. Mr. Lyons is a fan of gin, particularly Bombay, so please send help. I'm sure he's going to be at his wit's end with me by the end of next week. We're not sure what this situation is here with the drawers. It looks like drawer Jenga to me. So again, with that kitchen renovation, we had plans to just sort of take those out, expand this here, and make it a proper wet bar. I'm sure that will get to good use when we entertain here. We have our pantry here. It's a nice size, always lovely to have. This is only one monitor. There were many monitors. We love the security here, but it was a little overkill. It's a great pantry. Of course, I'm gonna have to organize that. Back over here, we brought our area rugs over here last weekend because we had them professionally steamed and cleaned. Great. Of course, we got a big TV. I'm excited about that. I had to bring one of my plants from home. This is my favorite. Again, trying anything to make it feel like home in the interim. I told you I feel like a gypsy. I'm doing my best. Very, very, very grateful to the previous owners for having left us this table in the interim because we are not bringing our dining room table. We're looking for a new one. And in our search, we just want to pick the right one. So there's that. I think I'll save the backyard for the last bit of the tour. And goodness me, I should have put on lights for you. I apologize. Here we go. This is a guest bathroom off to the side here. So you see we were right there. And here is the guest bathroom. This is grass cloth wallpaper. I'm really actually quite a fan. When we saw pictures online, realtor.com, it really photographed more turquoise and it made me nervous. But no, this will do nicely. Will do nicely for now. And off to the master. I love that our master is on the ground floor. By the way, if you probably noticed from the stairs, this is a 2-story home, which will be new to us. But our master is off on the main level, which we definitely appreciate. Love the plantation shutters here. And on to the problem, which is the closet. God help us. Okay, so this was my sort of shoe situation I'm trying to do here. I don't know if you can see these. I ordered a couple more boxes. They're waiting for me over there. You click them together and so you can stack your shoes one on top. I actually have some loaded in here. I'll show you, but here's what Mr. Lyons has. But then I have the rest, but it's just not enough. Okay, those are the shoe things in action over there. So you can see I actually got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pair there, but you can see what's on the floor. That whole Hulkin that you saw earlier, that's full of shoes. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have already filled every single one of these drawers, and I still have quite a bit of my closet that needs to come over. I guess I'm grateful. I think my dresses will go in my office. That's the best I can think of. But we gotta make it work. We have to make it work. This had an awkward medicine cabinet here, but we have that here. So our handyman drywalled it, and we're gonna put a towel rod there or something like that. He comes again tomorrow. So we love you, Gendry. We love ya. Side note about now being in a 2-story home. I mentioned, I believe in last week's video, that we moved our garage and our storage unit ourselves that weekend. And what was in our storage unit, now we don't need a storage. The good news is we no longer need a storage unit. The challenging news was that we had to run everything that was in our storage unit up these stairs. So that was the launch of my new fitness program. Let me show you upstairs. Okay, onward and upward, as they say. I got a little bit more organized and friendlier, and I put on the lights for you, so I won't be so jarring this time. Okay, I love the railing here, big fan. Not a fan of the carpet. I have plans for this. Like I said, that punch list keeps on punching. It's growing, but all in due time. Again, I apologize for the acoustics here. So we have 2 bedrooms up here. My husband seems to think that we need both bedrooms for guests, and I wholeheartedly disagree. This is the one I like best for any overnight guests, which really tend to be my mother-in-law or my adult children when they stay over. Our friends that used to use the casita the most actually wound up buying a condo here in Orlando that they visit, so we don't need it for them anymore. They were a family of 3. So we're good. I love that this also has the plantation shutters. I mean, look at the closet here for guests. Shelves, drawers. Definitely room to hang your clothes. More shelves. I mean, lovely. I would never come downstairs. I'm trying to, in the sadness and wake of losing the casita, trying to figure out this area here, which is so awkward to me. You really can't walk to those shelves there because of this dormer. You will hit your head. I think my husband will put a desk here. He has an office to go to every day, but he does work from home as well. But maybe put a coffee maker here, a microwave, again, just to make it feel homey, not like they have to come downstairs right away when they wake up, things like that. We have another closet here, which may serve as our linen closet, but for now I have some costumes, of course, Mary Poppins in all her forms, and that beautiful Nigerian dress that I wore for a client's wedding a couple of years ago that I get to wear again for a client's wedding this coming February. Now here's my plan for this bedroom, and I'm going to need all of your help in the comments so I can show Mr. Lyons, but I think wholeheartedly that this room should be my dressing room. I could put a vanity up here, do my hair and makeup in here, use this overflow closet for the problem situation we seem to be having with the closet downstairs in our master. Again, we have the plantation shutters, pretty good light, have a nice, if I wanted to watch TV, I don't think I would up here. And here is the closet. I mean, I could put the shoes here, we could put another, oh, there is a rod here, I didn't even notice that. Oh, there's a rod there too. Look, I discover something every day. But put it in the comments because I'd love to show him the support, but this needs to be my dressing room. Here is a fun thing. Now we got to ditch our storage unit which we had for all of our holiday decoration, because look at this little secret room off of the closet here. We didn't even see that the first 3 times we saw the house. This was a lovely surprise. So yeah, our handyman came and built our shelves last week, and we have, I can't believe this is it. There's a lot of things in the garage, there have to be. But I'm so excited. We don't have the storage unit anymore. I have all my decorations in one place. We used to have to drive to go get it, or if I wanted to have sort of like a themed entertaining night, I had to go drive and go get it. These boxes here are what took me out a couple weeks ago when I said it was emotional. Look, you can see baby pictures of my babies here. This is what did it. Anytime you move or you move boxes and you look at all these memories, it's killer. It's killer. Final detail up here is the guest bathroom. Absolutely love and appreciate that there is a double vanity sink here in this bathroom. Why there's a microwave, I don't know. Hello friends, hanging on here. And a shower and a tub in there. So lovely. Can't wait to start filling things up. Okay, I'm gonna show you the backyard now, which is really between the kitchen and the backyard. I mean, the first time, the moment we walked into this house and saw these 2 things, we knew. We knew this was gonna be our new home. And you will see how surprisingly similar our new pool looks like our pool in Winter Park, just bigger. So I'm so excited. I'll be able to have a bigger garden. I'll show you, it's pretty rough right now. Someone hasn't lived here for quite some time now. So there's a lot of manicuring we need to do, a lot of TLC. But let me show you the backyard. All right, here we go. So down to, the color of the Pebble Tech or the liner you choose determines the color of your water. And I cannot tell you how long Mr. Lyons and I looked at and belabored over that decision, because I wanted a very specific blue. And when I tell you that I believe it's identical, if not near identical, I'm not kidding. I wish I knew how to shut off the fountains because I don't know if it's messing with the audio, but my husband just figured out how to put them on yesterday. So on they are. But look how much bigger this pool is. We love. But from this vantage, of course, I don't know if I'm going to put a bistro table, or, sorry if I'm shooting into the sun, or, you know, long lounge chairs with umbrellas. I think that would look most chic. But the pavers go on way too far there. Like, I don't know if these people had like a seaplane, they were landing here or something, but that is way too much hardscape for my liking. So we're gonna pull that up until that threshold there. Speaking of pulling up, you know, I love nature as much as the next person, but grass here in Florida is either St. Augustine grass, which is very tough and itchy, and then with 4 dogs, it starts to look something like this, which I'm not a fan of. And you may have remembered that we had artificial turf in our previous backyard, and so that's what our plan will be for here as well. My big plan is, and I think in this corner, I want a greenhouse. We are getting a greenhouse. I cannot wait. And of course I have this entire back fence along this area to do my garden. This faces south, which is perfect in Florida to garden. If I do have my way, I think I should be able to, and not in a selfish way. I'd like to run the garden this way, greenhouse, and this way. This way I can grow a lot more, incorporate flowers in the veg as well. Really lovely. What I also don't understand, because that fence is not a double fence where one would think they had a boat and it was parked here, because it's not a double fence, but we just don't understand all of this rock. So again, I think it would be better served as turf, give our sweet pups some more room to play. And I don't know, maybe we could do something else. Maybe give Mr. Lyons a little putting green or something. I think I need to throw him a bone, because I think all of the plans in the back here include my priorities. But the other side will be his cooking area, and we know he is the barbecue champion and chef extraordinaire. So I think on this side, we will have his green egg, our air con handlers there, green egg, what else does he have? Smokers, I don't know. Maybe the other side, we don't know. If we do the other side, I feel like it's just too far away from here. But we love this area here that we'll be able to entertain as well. Watch some TV, lounge. So lovely. Very much looking forward to being here. Full time, that is. Hello friends, and welcome back. I am back from my client meetings, and as promised, I have prepared some moving tips that I prepared for myself and have been implementing for a couple of weeks now and plan on implementing over the course of the next 4 days. I can't quite believe in 4 days we will be here full time. I feel so ready. Okay, so we're gonna get started with pre-move planning. So before we moved, which is technically now, these are some of the tips and things that I've implemented to help streamline things and make things easier. So yes, as a planner, I made sort of a binder, not quite a binder. I had a folder and I had tabs in the folder, just keeping all of those nuances and details in order. And don't you know, it has come in handy, because my husband has asked me for certain things and updates at certain times, and I have it right here, ready and organized, so it's perfect. So I kept all of our moving related documents there, contracts and checklists in one place. And of course, I love a good checklist, so that has been fun, checking away and ticking away at all of those to-dos throughout this entire process also. So another thing is, of course, with anything, any large investment, including the purchase of this home, anything, a wedding, anything you do, we created a budget. And in that budget, we wanted to see what we could manage within that budget. Some of you may be moving yourselves, so you may have to budget what boxes may cost, and bubble wrap, and a U-Haul truck and dollies and things like that. Or you may start squirreling away. I even did that. You saw some Amazon boxes over there. Squirreling away some boxes and paper that certain shopping and shipping products are packed in, bubble wrap, things like that. Squirreling that away so that you can have that for your move. I did do that for some of the things we wanted to move ourselves. As I mentioned, we moved our garage ourselves and our storage unit, as well as my personal items like my shoes and things like that. So me squirreling away those things really helped with our budget. We also chose to do that for a number of reasons. budget being one of them. And also those were sort of things we really wanted control over, didn't want to micromanage another team handling. So the other part of our budget was, yes, we did hire movers. The bigger furniture and things like that were just something we absolutely knew we did not want to or could do. So we set aside room in our budget for movers. So that is a very important tip there. The other thing we did was we decluttered before packing. So this was good, and boy, I thought, you know, I had done a closet edit before I headed to Michigan in May, and when I tell you, I think I have about 2.5 yard size, you know, those big boys, the yard size bags of items in those bags of just my things alone. So we have decluttered, and I've edited my closet once again. That has really streamlined things. I certainly didn't want to bring anything over here that I had no intention of using and or wearing. So decluttering has sort of not just decluttered our closets and our homes, but it has decluttered my mindset. So it feels really good to know that we're going to step into this new home with only the things we need and want to have here. So we also scheduled, my husband did this, he scheduled the utilities in advance. We already have Wi-Fi here. We have our electricity, of course, gas, things like that. We already transferred our pool service over here. Just those little things. These aren't things that on the first night you're here or even the first couple of days that you want to say, oh, do we have Wi-Fi? Do we have phone service? Do we have electricity? These are things you want to plan in advance. I have already changed my driver's license. I was able to do that online. My new driver's license came within a week. I did that the day that we closed. So for this reason, I'm very grateful that we had sort of the 3 weeks between closing and move-in date that I could do all of these things, even though I'm in the gypsy phase right now, or the gypsy state with just 4 days to go. But I have my new license. I've changed my social security. IRS has been notified, all of those things, so it feels really great. Our mail is being forwarded already, so it feels really good to have all those things in place. This is something I certainly didn't want to worry about next week, and it's all taken care of, so it's great. Okay, next we're gonna move into packing strategies. Now, even though we have movers coming, I do want to color code the rooms, and so I just bought painter's tape and like blue, green. They have different sort of colors, and I know they'll do their own labeling, but this is just for in case something gets in the wrong place. I just want to make sure everything is streamlined on the day we move. I also don't want to be pulled in 100 different directions on the day we move, because we have, not only do we have the 4 dogs that we have to keep out of their way and busy for the 2 days that this move is going to require, but we are babysitting our grand dog Rocket. So yes, if you're doing the math correctly, yes, that would be 5. We have 5 dogs next week for the move. Anyway, so I wanted to be as organized as possible. So I colored, you know, I have the painter's tape to color code the boxes, of course, big Sharpies. I trust that they'll have all these things too. Just wanted to have it as a backup. Make sure I label all the boxes like master bedroom, master bathroom, guest room, kitchen, etc. so that's done. A good friend of mine gave me another tip. This is something we all implement as project managers. You know, on wedding days, we tend to be project managers, and I don't like being pulled in 100 different directions. So my paperwork clearly outlines for all of my rental companies where things go, with a layout of things and everything. So I am taping these to the door. These are little signs I have made, like master bedroom, guest room 1, master bath, things like that. So this way, I can tape it to the door, and once they see the said box, they can just place it in there. They don't have to pull me aside. They don't have to pull my husband aside, and we can do what we need to do, and everyone can just move along with their day as peacefully as possible. That's the key. Okay, here are some moving day tips. Here's some things I wrote down. So just like anything, I have I really have to focus on this weekend. It's on my list, it's not quite done, but I'm going to have a moving day kit, just like I have an emergency kit for my wedding clients. My emergency kit is like, we could survive like on an island with our wedding emergency kit if we needed to. But in this emergency kit, I have made a list to include snacks, water, phone chargers, and basic tools for assembling furniture. Again, we have our garage in order. We're gonna use this weekend to organize it a bit more, but we have our tools here. That's another reason why we wanted the garage in place and ready to go when things came here, in case there were certain things we just needed to pay attention to and needed those tools for. A plan for the pets. Again, those beautiful neighbors of ours that were leaving, but only in distance, they have offered their backyards to us so that the dogs can just sort of roam there freely while the movers are in and out, because that would just be pure chaos. And the weather is projected to be glorious, so they can spend all day outside, and the good news is that they'll be nice and tired by the time they get to the new house. So we do have a plan in place for our pets. What I started to do, especially now that we're moving things around, is I started to take pictures of like how the kitchen is set up and how my office looks like. And I know like general plans, but it's the organizational part of things like that, like our kitchen drawers, because I find unpacking the kitchen to be the most challenging. Every time I walk into that kitchen, I have to walk out of it. It just seems overwhelming because it's so much bigger than our kitchen now. So just sort of like how our silverware looks now, our pots and pans, so we can just sort of emulate that for the time being to move in, so we can get all of those things out of the boxes and into cupboards, and then we can refine things later. But I'm taking pictures now. I often do that with my seasonal decor too. I'll take a picture at the end of the season so I know when I open these boxes at Christmas time or Halloween, I'm like, what did I do with all of this stuff? Of course, it will be different in this new house, but that's a little trick I do for the holidays as well. Okay, now we're moving into settling in, and just what we're doing before we're settling in fact, they're due in here just a few minutes. I have my lovely cleaning ladies coming to the house to do a nice deep clean baseboards and everything of the house. So when we move in, it will be spit spot and ready to go. So we're doing that ahead of time. But what we want to do, I think it's no question, as soon as we move in, we want to set up the kitchen first. As we know, the kitchen is the heart of the home. It is the nucleus. It is the hub. It's where everything happens. So I think I know that will be our first priority, to unpack the kitchen first, get those boxes to our recycling bin and curbed up and ready to go. We have already changed the locks, so we're good there. We have new hardware, new keys, everything like that. So on Tuesday, when we lay our sweet little heads on the pillow, we will be in good stead, and we will feel good about where we are settling in and settled in. So I feel good with this list so far. So that is that, friends. I hope you enjoyed the new house tour. I can't wait to show you what it looks like with all of these boxes in it. And as we start unboxing everything and putting all of our personal effects in place, that seems so exciting for me to share with you. If you have any tips for moving, while I will have already moved by the time you see this, I'm sure that someone that's watching could really appreciate it. So if I didn't touch on a point that you would find especially helpful, I would love for you to put it in the comments to help serve the community here at large. And you never know, it might serve us well again. I find that a lot of these moving tips are helpful in transitioning with seasons or redecorating new projects and things like that. So it can help us in the future as well. So wish us luck. 4 more days and counting. I cannot wait. If you made it this far, comment moving day and I'll know you made it. I'm so grateful to you for watching. If you're new here, go ahead and please like this video. It does so much for me and for the algorithm, and of course subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you in next week's video. Bye-bye.